Hello, and here I am at the back of my mobile, which is all I use to make these videos, and hopefully all is working. It looks like it. Having changed my broadband supplier, it looks like I've done the right thing. It's been a very busy week, and here I am. Oh, what's the time? Oh, it's 5:30, and it's the 29th of June. Warm day. My watch says it's 25 degrees outside, Celsius. I still like to say centigrade, I don't know why. Not that it makes any difference. I was born on the days of Fahrenheit. I've not done much with the keyboard for various reasons, because I've got myself another new toy. I've acquired my late cousin's amateur radio equipment, or one of his radios. A very nice bit of kit called a SX920. Some of the amateur radio enthusiasts out there that contact me might be knowledgeable about it. It enables me to transmit further afield than my little tiny handheld, which wasn't working very well because I hadn't set it up correctly. And a big thank you to members of the Rustington Amateur Radio group who have been helping me throughout the week in various aspects, getting the handheld working correctly, and also setting up at least on 2 meters, and now the next stage is to connect me up on shortwave, so I can get an aerial or antenna up in some way, certainly beyond my capabilities these days. And learning about the 991 is as well, but enough of all the radio stuff. Hello, broken nail again. Never mind, I'll manage. Right. Now, that's an unusual sound. What have I got here? Let's just see what's in my user bank. It should be what I normally expect. Let's have a little check. Piano in my left hand. And as usual, I've no idea what I'm going to play, but I will do a tune, or maybe two, from the Kenneth Baker organ player book. Apparently some of you are getting quite interested in this little book of tunes that I'm running through to perhaps help some of the beginners. But what am I going to play now? I don't know. See what we've got in my presets that come with the keyboard. There's some really nice things that I've been discovering when I have managed to find a moment on here. Some really beautiful Latin sounds. Let's see what's this guitar rumbas like. that was off the top of my head, without any prior knowledge. I think it landed up being South American Joe, if I recall the name correctly. I might have to Google it later and check it out. But things just crop up in my head and I just had a go at it, whether it was right or wrong. But that was a guitar rumba from the button called Latin and World at 166 beats per minute. I'm going to try and make an appointment with the optician this coming week and see if I can find out if anything more can be done about my glasses, because it is now becoming very difficult with my right eye to see anything very well. So maybe there's still something can be done about it. Let's go and see if we can by making an appointment and doing what we can. Thank you to, I think it was Brian, who mentioned having a double crossbar stand, because the idea of me weighting it down on some of the legs that stick out on the one I've got, the SX stand I've got, I've still got a slightly wobbly keyboard. It's not as bad as it was, but I'm going to order one. So thank you, Brian. I think it was Brian that mentioned the one that I'm going to get, and I'm going to give that one a try. But that's something I've got to see to during the coming week. I will probably, I may do it tomorrow. If I've got time tomorrow, I will order it tomorrow. So I've been having a little mess around with the live controls and discovering some amazing little things that they can do. It can quite change the sounds of some of the instruments, and there's always a sweet spot I've noticed where it's quite a dramatic amount of change, but it depends on the instrument that you've selected. I'm not going to talk too much because I know a lot of you like me to play. If I can think of something to play, I'm going to go back to my user one that I've got here for myself. Just going to check the speed out. Yeah, that will be. The last one was called Cute, and before that I played Ain't Misbehaving. I believe that's a favourite of Steve Paul, who had a great night apparently on Friday just gone in Brighton at the Patcham Community Hall, where had a brilliant drummer. I can't remember his name now, but I do know that he was very good, and I can recommend a night out at the Patcham Community Hall in Brighton and listen to Steve and Paul and the big band. Have to get in there early because it gets packed out, but well worth a visit if you're in the town on holiday or whatever. Right, now going to my Kenneth Baker's organ book, we've got up to the next tune being Where Have All the Flowers Gone? Words and music by Pete Seeger. Original copyright in 1961, and well, this version is in the key of C still, or everything in here is in the key of C, I think, until we get into the next book. So nothing fancy going on, but all pretty easy for most people who are beginners at playing. It's telling you how to do the fingering correctly. I can't explain and do that to you because it wouldn't make a lot of sense for most of you. So I'm just going to play it through. It's in 4/4 time. As I say, it's in the key of C, and it will be, doesn't tell you the tempo, but I'll stick to what I've already been doing. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Basics of it. I do wish you weren't quite so long at that ending. I'll have to find something that cuts it off a bit sooner. Just drag on a bit at that, on that ending that they give you on the preset. Right, so as I always do, I played it through basically, and then I had a modification, if you like, or an improvisation of it that I did, and I added another chord in there, but I won't tell you which one because you will come to it eventually in the course. But some of you might have worked it out. And here we've got another little tune. If I do the second one, we can move on to something a bit more exciting over the page, because we have another note to play, melody note G, and we start playing with quavers. Wow. And have quaver wrists. So I'll do this one so we can do that next week. So this one is called 8 Days a Week, which, as we probably all know, is a Beatles tune written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney in, here we go again with the bad eyesight, 1964. And I've played this tune in all sorts of ways over the years. Let's see. I know we've still got 4/4 tempos, straight 4 beats in the bar, but it could be played a lot faster, obviously. So I still can't get used to whether it wants to do a tap on the tempo or not. Let's see. Yeah, it does do it. Okay, not quite sure what it'll do it for me. I did something to end that bit of the long ending by pressing the stop start button. Right, so obviously I played it basically as it's written on the page at first, hopefully without any mistakes, and then I improvised a bit in the same tempo and tried to make it sound a little bit different. Right, so that's the Kenneth Baker book, book 1. Still, I know a lot of you have got this book knocking around. It's been around now for many years. That particular series of books. I don't know when it's been updated, but that book is the 2nd edition, And then the first edition that came out many years ago, quite a few years before the one I'm using at the moment, it had a few different tunes in it. I might dig one of them out one of these days. I think from memory, one of them is Kaiser Bill's Batman, I think is in it. So I might dig that out one day and play that. So let's see if I can find a whistle on here. Right, well, let's go back to a little bit of Latin that I've been messing around with. Turkish Euro. What on earth is... Oh, I'll press the wrong button there. Okay. Exit.
Motion detected at the front door.
Thank you very much. That's my doorbell camera telling me that there's somebody around, but they're probably just passing by. Right, Latin. Mexican dance. What can we do with Mexican dance? No idea. Let's have a listen. Yeah, I'm not sure I can think of anything that would go with that for the moment. So let's just move on to Tarantella. Oh yeah. What's a Tarantella like? Yes. Well, there we are. That was the Tarantella in the Latin and world section of the keyboard. I had no idea what it was going to come out with, and I had no idea what I was going to play with it. But that particular tune, which is the Hokey Cokey, I think that's how it's normally known, although there are variations to the title. Won't go through them all. But I've always known it as the Hokey Cokey, officially. And that's what came into my head that would fit it, although no doubt there's plenty of other tunes that would have done. I remember playing handbells when I was 5 years old to a tarantella, but I was playing in a group orchestra and they gave me handbells to do. Anyway, right, how are we doing on time? Because I can waffle on forever. Yeah, we've done a half now. Let's see what else we can find you on here. Oh, how about oldies? Oldies, right. Let's move on to some of you seem to like that old piano that I found on one of the pages the other day. What's this one like? Just try this one. This is called 60s 8-beat. And that's unusual. And that's the name of the song. Right, so we had there an 80s 8-beat. Oh, I like that. I shall see what else we can do with that. And yeah, I use the OTS styles that were knocking around. I didn't actually use the buttons, but it comes out the same whether I use this one down here, which goes, whether I use that one, which is the same. Doesn't matter. That one, it's the same anyway, whether I did it down here or whether I did it on the one-touch setting up here. But then those of you that have got this keyboard would know that anyway. I'm just waffling on, aren't I? So there we are. I will try and get a bit more work done on the keyboard this coming week, now that the excitement is over with my new amateur radio equipment turning up. The radio used to belong to my late cousin, so it means a lot to me that I've acquired it. I think that he used to use it. Can't remember his call sign. Anyway, I'm talking again, maybe too much, and hope to see you next week and tell you what's been going on, and hopefully play you some more tunes, and we'll continue with our organ player book, which can be used for keyboards. I don't like the keyboard book. It's only got 19 chords in it if you went through the whole series, whereas the organ player book's got an awful lot more chords to learn, and it's good to learn your chords. 576 chords in music, but I used to boast that I knew them all, but there is a secret to it. There is a secret. There are lookalikes. A lot of chords are the same, fingers on the same notes, but they can be a different named chord for various reasons that I will explain one day. Right, I'm round the back of this keyboard, and I hope this all worked. And there's my customary wobbling of my fingers, which are still all right at the moment, just about. And we'll see you next week. Don't forget the likes on Facebook and YouTube. More importantly, the shares and the subscribes on YouTube. I understand from what the results I get from YouTube that only about a quarter of you are subscribing. It doesn't cost anything to do a subscribe. It just means that you will sometimes get a reminder that I'm around. Anyway, once again, bye. Can I do that? No, that's not my old days of shadow graphs. Bye, and have a good week. Cheerio.